What is up, watch friends? Welcome to another episode of Talking Timepieces with Tony. I'm Tony. It's Friday, and I hope everyone had a great Halloween. For those of you who celebrate Halloween, that was last night. I had a pretty good night. Stayed in, watched the movie Halloween, and pretty chill, laid back. Today I am wearing my Zodiac Super Sea-Wolf, which I got in Nashville last October, when I was out there visiting and recording with my buddy Lincoln Parrish. I just want to say congratulations to my buddy Lincoln Parrish from the band Cage the Elephant. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because he's celebrating the fact that a number of the records, including Ain't No Rest for the Wicked, just certified like 9 times platinum as of October of this year, which is like insane. I mean, for those of you who don't know the music industry, that's fine. But for those of you who do, knowing how hard it is to sell 9 million records, let alone 9,000 records, it's quite an accomplishment. So super stoked for you, dude. Proud of you, and glad to have you as my friend. So on that note, today is the Q&A. So for those of you who know what the Q&A is, every Friday we do a Q&A. And if you'd like to participate in the Q&A, all you have to do is leave your questions in the comments below, and it'll be featured on an upcoming Q&A. So let's roll the intro and we'll get into it. All right, so the first one comes from Ristopia4101. What's up, dude? You called out the hater trolls very accurately as usual, but you have played a bit of a game. Not a douche one, in my opinion. I don't know which game you're talking about, dude, but whatever. Question for Friday. What do you think of the Cubitus debacle? Cubitus, the Patek Philippe. YouTubers seem to be putting words into the CEO's mouth and distorting what he said about haters. He was 100% correct in what I heard him say. Oh, man. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of shit going on about that watch, isn't there? I posted a video on that watch before we knew it was actually a real watch. We weren't sure. It was like, was a rendering. Was it real? Was it going to be fake? And I said I liked it. And I do like it. I like the green dial variation of it, but it's 45 millimeters, way too big. So in that case, I'd be like, no. But as far as Thierry Stern's comments, I followed a lot of his interviews in the past and things like that. And honestly, man, whatever you say, I mean, Thierry Stern is an egomaniac. The company was handed down to him. It was just handed to him on basically a silver platter. He's quite arrogant, and he just has been. And, saying, I'm not sure exactly which comment you're referring to, but if you're referring to the one where he says, all the haters against the Cubitus or Cubitus, whatever, are people that don't own Patek Philippe's and never will own a Patek Philippe. And that was just kind of I want to say, it's like, yeah, I mean, he's being honest in what he's saying. He's saying that, but he probably shouldn't have said that, being the president of Patek Philippe. Could have been a more sort of, could have articulated it a little better. But I'm not going to jump on him for it, whatever. But a lot of times, a lot of people that have commented on that do own Patek Philippe. So, I don't know, whatever. Does it turn me off of the brand? Not really. I mean, I think Thierry Stern's kind of a douche. Again, you have to go back and watch a lot of his previous interviews and you have your opinion and I have mine, and all of us have our own opinions, but I thank you for your question, dude. Next one comes from Big Mac C-V5X. Congrats on over 5,000 subscribers. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. When you send in a Rolex for service, do they replace the clasp if it's scratched? Is that an extra cost? Also, would an AD be able to get a Jubilee bracelet for a watch that originally had an oyster bracelet? Thanks. No, they do not replace the clasp. They'll polish the watch for you, but they're not going to replace it unless it's broken and needs to be replaced. And then, of course, there will be an extra charge for that. As far as getting, depending on which watch, if you want a Jubilee bracelet, I don't know how hard that is to do. I know people have done it. So, my recommendation to you is basically talk to your AD and see what they say. See if they can do that for you. All right, man. Thanks for your question. This one comes from Gaspizana. Hi, Tony. Love your content. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Your passion for timepieces really shows. Keep on keeping it real. That's all I know how to do, man, I think. But I appreciate it. My question for you is, if the articulation has ever gotten stiff on any of your oyster bracelets, is this reason enough to bring it in for service, or can I fix it myself? Cheers. It depends, man. If you don't know anything about watches and you just want to try to fix something yourself, I wouldn't take it to your AD. You know what I mean? It might be something very simple that they could do it and not even worry about it. I have on my my Submariner 14060 right here. This was really super tight, really hard to close. But now, just from wearing, doing it, it's fine. But if you're having issues or you're worried or concerned about it, I would take it to your AD and just have them look at it, man. It saves anything you trying to fix and then possibly breaking and screwing it up. Not saying that you would do that. I don't know you, but I would take it to your AD. Thanks for your question, man. Appreciate it. This one comes from Daniel 2217. Do you have any hands-on with the 1908? If so, how would you compare it to a PP619, Patek Philippe 6119, or 38 millimeter Vacheron Constantin Patrimony small seconds, or 36 millimeter AL and S 1815 Elangaison 1850 small seconds? Would have to get the Vacheron or long secondhand because they're not current production. I don't have any hands-on with the 1908. I've never even asked to look at it, and I really do like that watch, and I think the price point is awesome. I think about $23,000, $24,000, and of course the platinum's going to be at like $30,000 with the ice blue dial. Really sick watch, man. How would I compare it to the Patek Philippe 6119R? I am partial to Patek Philippe, and I am really partial to the 6119R. So, but you're also looking at about $10,000 more money than the Rolex, right? But still, if the money wasn't the issue, I would take the 6119 over the 1908. The 38 millimeter Vacheron Constantin Patrimony small seconds, they made that in a 38. Either way, I mean, Vacheron is another one that I absolutely love, or a Langaison. The 1815 is a really nice looking watch. But if it were really up to me when it comes down to having, say, the money and no object and no problem getting the watch, I would go with the Patek Philippe. Really kind of without a question. Second on that list would be the Vacheron Constantin, which I had the Vacheron Constantin Patrimony. Great watch, beautiful watch. So yeah, I mean, and of course I would definitely get the 1908, just also because it's out of all of them. I mean, the Rolex just makes superb watches, and of course the 1908 I think is really awesome. So thanks for your question, man. Next one comes from Alec Grolman. Hey Tony, long-time viewer and love the vids. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I didn't want to post on YouTube, but wanted to pose a question to you. I bought a watch from my AD. I was originally introduced to one of the owners, and that's who my contact has always been with. They let me know the watch is in, and I wired the payment. Payment was made on June 30th, but the invoice says 7/20. The card originally said 7/20, but they wrote over the original written date to correct it to 6/30. It does not look good, but I guess is it just the card? Should I bring it up that the invoice and the card don't match? Okay, so you wired the payment on June 30th. Did you not pick it up till July 20th? And then they altered the card. I don't know, dude. I mean, I bring it up. It seems a little bit weird that your card got scratched off and then another date put on it. That's a little weird. I don't know. I mean, because anyone could do that, right? You could take your card and cross off the date yourself and put in a new date, and it's like it's not going to be. Yeah, it's going to look a little bit shady, I guess, but I don't know. I would maybe talk to them about that, man. I believe you asked another question as well, where you were picking up a watch, but your rep was out of town, but they told you to come in and pick up the watch, and another sales rep would help you with that. And then you showed up, and they had the watch already in the bag, and they didn't give you it on a tray. They didn't bring you in a room, and they didn't give you any refreshments or any champagne. Well, on that one too, you could have done one of two things. And you say, I know this AD well. So, I mean, there's a couple ADs I know well, but I'm guessing one of them. But, keep in mind that if you went in there and the sales rep was out of town, then the rep that helped you is not your rep. You know what I mean? So essentially, they don't want to spend as much time with you as your rep would have, because they got, they're there to make money. You know what I mean? They didn't make any money off you. That rep didn't, regardless of the store. I mean, they still got to consider the fact that these reps, their livelihood is based off of selling watches, not, doing a favor for another rep when they're out of town. Granted, doing a favor, things like that, I get it, do it. But at the same time, they don't want to bring you in a room and spend as much time with you, all that time where they could be actually selling something. So you could have waited for the rep to come back, one. Two, you say it was in a bag ready to go. I mean, if it's a Rolex, unless it's on an oyster bracelet, but they still have to size it, and take the stickers off. They usually take the stickers off in front of you as well. So they would have had to size it, just because you didn't, so I don't know if they did that or not. Whatever they did, I wasn't there. So, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't worry about it, man. I think next time, hopefully your rep will be in town if you get another watch from them. You know what I mean? But thanks for your question, dude. I appreciate it. Vahan Vahanik. I know, dude. You're awesome, dude. Thank you for your questions always and your comments. Hey, Tony, happy Saturday. That was last Saturday, so it was all right. Love the video and the rant. Thanks, man. One of my grail pieces is a Rolex 126655 Ever Rose Gold Yacht Master Oysterflex. I know you're not a big Yacht Master fan. My question to you is, what are your thoughts on the Oysterflex in general? I remember having sticker shock when I saw the price of $30,000. It seems a bit much for a watch with a rubber strap. I'll stop there real quick. It's not, I know it's Oysterflex and it's not really rubber. I mean, it is rubber. There is rubber on that strap, yes. But that strap will last you a lot longer than like if you were just to buy a rubber strap or an FKM rubber strap from an aftermarket company, because they put inside that strap, I don't know if it's titanium or if it's platinum or if it's steel or what, but it's more of a bracelet with rubber, kind of like if you look at this ceramic here on this watch, it's actually like a ceramic case that's going over the stainless steel. So it's almost like rubber over the metal, right? I know it's a precious metal piece and has an oyster bracelet inside. Trust me, I have done a lot of research into this watch. Do you think this piece is worth $30K? Funny thing is, if someone asked me how much should it be, my answer would be not sure, but not $30K. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Yeah, I mean, if it was at like 23, 24, I'd be, yeah, that's cool. 30 seems a little bit on the high end for it, but what are you going to do? I mean, that's what Rolex charged for it, you know what I mean? And if it's a Grail watch, then, you're going to have to pay the money for it, right? But yeah, it does seem high, so. Happy Friday, dude. Thanks for your question. Crazy Joe DeVola. Another great video, Tony. Thank you. Question for you. For timing everyday stuff like parking meters or whatever, do you ever find yourself using your GMT bezel as a timer, but instead of like a Submariner, just using only the triangle to mark the time while ignoring the time zone numbers? No, dude, not at all. I don't even take that kind of time. You know what I mean? When I'm out, I want to go where I'm going, do what I got to do, come back, whatever. if I park in a meter, which is very rare that I do, but if I do, and I put the money in, I'll basically just pay for an hour or whatever it is, even if then I'm only going to be 15 minutes. That way, it'll give other people that want to show up get some free parking for a bit. You know what I mean? So no, I don't time anything with my watches, man. I'm even like if I'm cooking something. Last night I cooked something. I use my phone as a timer. You know what I mean? So I know, really. So I can't believe you don't use your watch for it. You know, with the timing. It's what I do. I'd rather hear a buzzer go off than keep looking at my watch, going, how much time do I have left? Thanks for your question. I appreciate it, man. Strawn Robertson 2911. In your opinion, what is the best luxury leather strapped watch, which is just a step up from Rolex in terms of quality and price? The best? I don't think there's a best. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of watches. And if you're going to say it just a step up from Rolex, I don't think there just is a step up from Rolex. You're either going to go a big step up from Rolex, you know, but there's so many. I mean, because if you take the 1908, you know, I mean, again, Rolex make the most accurate watches as far as I'm concerned. You know, you could go with a JLC Master Control. You know, that's, I think they're about $9,000 or $10,000 now. I remember when they were about $6,000, but Master Control. I mean, you can go with Reverso if you're into that too. Cartier Santos, really awesome. I don't think they're a step up from Rolex. I think they're, you know, they're equally really good watches. But then if you're going to go a step up, you're looking at Vacheron Constantin, Patek Philippe, and then you can get into some of those other, you know, some of the independent brands or whatever else. But you know, so I don't think there's the best. I just think there's a lot of really good watches. So I don't know. I'm sorry for not being as specific as you probably like me to be, but I appreciate your question, man. And that was from Strawn Robertson. Did I say that? Sorry, Strawn Robertson 2911. Aaron Clark 919. Huge congrats on the 5K subscribers. Let's go, Tony, to 10K. Yeah, let's do that, shall we? It keeps me motivated. Getting the subscribers really helps me stay motivated to do videos, and I appreciate it. Thank you. I started traveling throughout Latin America recently, so I need to get a respectable watch. God forbid I get robbed or lost it, wouldn't feel as bad. I'm not bringing any of my Rolex, Omega, Zenith, Cartier, etc. What brands or specific watches do you recommend? There's a ton of them, dude. You know, but I'm always going to go back to the Hamilton khaki field. You know, Hamilton khakis are just great everyday beater watches, super accurate, you know, just great watches. You can go with a Casio G-Shock, things like that too. You know, I mean, just something, because it's not going to be your everyday watch when you get back. You might wear it occasionally and whatever, but I just think value for money, Hamilton, you can't go wrong. So best of luck and have fun traveling. This comes from Joel Miraz 9026. What's up, Tony? I think that new Zenith looks cool, but okay, you're talking about the Zenith Porter collab. But 11,300. What do you think about this price? Do you think it's worth 11,300? That's the Pilot watch, like the one that I have. Is it worth 11,300? Well, you got to collab with Porter, right? I don't know anything about Porter. I wouldn't buy it for the fact that it also says Porter on the dial. You know what I mean? Because I don't know them, and I don't really, so I wouldn't spend 11,300 just for the fact it says Porter on the dial. I think it's a great watch. It's ceramic. It's a full ceramic watch, so that's going to increase the value, or you know, the cost of the watch. You know, I think it's a great looking watch. Otherwise, for 11,300, you know, you got to put things in perspective as to what it is with other brands and what you're getting when you get a Zenith. You know, Zenith make phenomenal watches, so I do think, well, a Zenith would be worth 11,300. I'm just saying, if you take Porter off of it, then as it is without the name Porter on it, definitely 11,300 I think would be, you know, because look at the Patek Philippe Aquanaut. You know, you're looking at, you know, how much is that watch like on a retail, depending on which one it is, you know what I mean, say $40,000, you know, versus 11,300. Thanks for your question, man. Marty B618. Question for the Q&A. What is your comments on Hublot? I'd like you to expand on your full opinion on the brand. Is that a loaded question, dude? You're waiting for me to say something you don't like, and then you're going to start coming in. It seems to be a brand that gets a lot of hate. I understand the hate they get for their models with Solida-based movements being overpriced, but I think their Big Bang Unico models are pretty cool. Overpriced? Certainly subjective. Same as any other brand. Cheers, Tony. Yeah, I mean, I don't, I mean, okay, so here's the thing I don't like about Hublot. Yeah, I mean, there is that fact that you got watches that have $300 movements in them, and they're charging $30,000 for it. You know what I mean? That's a little bit of shady, a little bit shady. The brand is a new brand. I think they started around 1980, 81 maybe. So there's not a whole lot of history there. So there's no history. They're just a brand, and they're a hype brand at that, as far as I'm concerned. Having said that, I think some of their watches look cool. I don't hate them like Nico hates them. I don't even watch that guy's videos anymore. But I'm not a Hublot hater. If someone's wearing a Hublot and they go, "Look, I'm wearing a Hublot," I'm not gonna go, I'll be like, "Right on, man, cool." I like the Big Bang. That blue ceramic one looks pretty cool. I don't know how much that is, but that's a pretty cool watch. I think some of their watches look cool, and I wouldn't have a problem wearing a Hublot. I wouldn't go out and pay that. There's a lot of other watches I'd rather have than a Hublot, but if I had one, I'd be fine with it, and I wouldn't give a shit what anyone thought. You know what I mean? So I appreciate your question, but there's no real full thing. I don't know a whole lot about them, other than I've known about them for a long time, and I know some of the negatives, and I know what people are saying about them. You know what I mean? But it's what it is. Some of their watches look pretty cool, though, don't they? Right? Thanks for your question, bro. Next question, 458V8. Hi, Tony. I just picked up the Looney Tunes Baby G-Shock Tweety Bird. I wish I could send you a picture. We love your videos. Thank you, man. What do you think of the Rolex GMT Rootbeer as a first watch request from the AD? Hi to Paco and Uku from our kitties, the Aranicio brothers. Well, hello, Uku, and hello, Paco, from one of the viewers. Paco's right here. And he's been tuckered out from doing jack shit all day, so he's got to take a nap. Get prepared for later on in the evening when it's time for me to go to bed, when he decides he's going to start doing some crazy shit. GMT Rootbeer is a first request from an AD. If it was a couple years ago, I'd say no. You probably wouldn't get it. But now, I think you might have a chance. You got to plead your case. You got to go in and talk about it. Make nice with the sales associates over there at Rolex, man. And I wish you the best of luck with that. This next one comes from PQ19476. Hey Tony, what do you think of the weird Harley Davidson OP? It's so effing different and odd, but I love it and hate it. That was not a collaboration. That was just a nickname that we get, when whether it's the root beer or the Sprite or whatever else. Now I think it's the ugliest OP, man. It's too busy. It's got too much going on. It doesn't know if it wants to be an Air King or an Explorer or a combination of, I don't know. I think it's ugly as fuck, dude. Thanks for your question. Michael DeMarco. What's up, Tony? I look forward to your videos every week. Thanks, dude. Is there a watch in your collection that catches a lot of attention when you're out? I know you don't wear watches for attention, but I have one watch, my 1989 day date, out of my entire collection that catches a lot of eyes when I wear it. Funny that it's the oldest watch in my collection. Yeah, man, I get more of a comment or compliments on my Swatch when I wear my Swatch watches. Not so much Rolex, but yeah. But when again, also I've gotten a couple of compliments on my Batgirl. You know what I mean? If I'm at Bindi, it's different. But when I'm like just out and about, I'm not paying attention to if people are looking at my watch or whatever. I got compliments on this one too, actually, but rarely with Rolex. I've had a couple of compliments on my Cartier Pasha with the blue dial, but generally when I'm out, a lot of times I've got my arms covered anyway, like the watch is covered, like I'm wearing a hoodie or something. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't, it's not, no one ever really stops me and goes, oh my God, you know, look at that watch you're wearing, you know, probably think it's fake if it's Rolex, but whatever. So there you have it. All right, you guys, I appreciate it. And keep liking, subscribing. I appreciate it.